Hey there! Oh, man, what a song to start the stream on. How are all of you? So, yeah, there has been a partial lift of the closed beta NDA, so I get to tell you all I have been in the closed beta. Yeah, since January. I did quit a few months ago, though, because I was worried about burnout. Yeah, I have like 225 hours in the closed beta, and I love this game. So, we're allowed to share our impressions with you of, of the beta and all that kind of good stuff. So I tried making a video earlier, and I was like, I think I might have said a little too much. So I'm gonna try to be very general about my info, but yeah, that's why I seem to have a lot of knowledge of the game in my earlier videos. I had to scour to find other YouTubers that had authorization to reveal info and stuff that Funcom said themselves to share with all of you. But I love this game. I love it so much. It's so well done. The flow feels really, really good. The combat's excellent. And I cannot recommend this game enough. I do have a few things that I don't care for, and I will share those things with you. But for now, let's dive into it. So, I love just sort of the combat feel and the flow. There's a lot of verticality to this. So, they've got just lots of systems for like running and jumping and leaping and all that kind of good stuff, and it just feels so good. The vehicles in this game, well, let's just say the Ornithopter is amazing. I freaking love the Ornithopter. It flies exactly like you think it would, and then some. It is so much fun to fly and to play with. I'm not there in this game. I'm trying my best not to go too fast, because, I've got some friends that they didn't get to play the beta, and I know we've been kind of zooming along, and I feel bad about that. I want to make sure that they get to enjoy it and that I get to enjoy content with them, so I'm just kind of out gathering that. I'm down here at my favorite cobalt spot, so I'm going to show you guys this stuff. But yeah, so the good. I like how they started off with combat, because it makes you really change your gameplay style as you go from zone to zone. So you start off in the starter zone in Haga South, Haga Basin South, right down here. And you don't have a shield, you're, basically naked. And you got a poopy knife, and the game walks you through making a pistol and bandages and all that kind of good stuff. And the enemies you're going to fight, they don't have a shield on, they're relatively easy to kill, because you also don't have a shield. So melee is a little bit difficult at that point in the game, but doable. You've got your starter classes. One of the ones that has what I think is arguably probably the most used skill in the game, the trainer for it, the basic trainer, is down there in Haga Basin. It's for the trooper. And it's right here at the very first town that the quest is going to have you go to. Let's see. And yeah, right there. So that's where you're going to find your trooper trainer. Right down there. And also the planetologist is right over here, not far away. And you're going to start off with no vehicle, but they did a pretty good job. There's some big gaps that you got to run across before you get a vehicle. But you can do it. It's doable, and it adds a bit of intensity. You've got the worm, you learn about the worm threat and all that kind of good stuff. And I think it's a lot of fun. It's very well done. And I cannot understate just how much I like that area's progression. And then you get up to the next area, and you find that maybe your old tactics don't work so well because you're running into a lot of shielded enemies. But you also can get a shield. And once you have a shield, it changes the whole dynamic of gameplay. And you find that you're going to be attacked by melee enemies, and you're going to have to make sure that you're dodging, using cover, you know, blocking, parrying, all that kind of good stuff. And you might find that you have to use different weapons for the shielded enemies, so on and so forth. You know, you learn about the fact that when your shield is down, you're vulnerable, or sorry, when you're shooting, your shield is down, you're vulnerable, and the same goes for them. So if you time your shots just right to when they're reloading and their shield hasn't come back up, you know, you can nail them and kill them like that. As a Mentat, I still love the turret skill because I can put down my, I should say everybody can be anything in this game, but as somebody who started as a Mentat, I can put down my turrets and deployable cover and stand behind the cover shooting at the enemy, you know, when they don't have to worry about them hitting me through my shield. And my turret can shoot them as they're shooting at me, you know, because their shield's down and the turret's doing some work. It's really nice. I like it. Now, there's lots and lots and lots of viable skills and ways to play, but for me, that works nicely for me, because I'm not the best gamer, and I'm okay with that. So, there we go. Yeah, so it's just very different, but you'll have your shield. One of the first things I do when I get to the next outpost after Haga Basin South, which is Griffin is the one down in the south, is Anvil. There's a vendor there, and I buy a Deer Reaper, and you can use that on the flowers at nighttime, and it fills any leader johns in your inventory up with water. And that also can be a useful tool for crafting too later down the road. I'll get to that in a minute. But I also buy myself a personal shield. Those are the two things that I care about the most. Ow, that's poison. Ooh. I have metabolized poison on too. Oof. I should not have hurt that bad. But it makes the experience a lot easier to deal with. Did I not deploy my... Come on, baby. Shoot at me. A lot of this. I can't do two things at once. Forgive me for not talking and shooting. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so, and the gun I have right now, the sniper rifle, you do not get that until you get onto the next area. So, one of the best breakdowns I ever saw somebody post was, this is what you call, down here in the south, your copper tier area. This, the gap area here, is what you call your iron tier. And, you know, this is where you get your first shield, and you start seeing more shielded enemies. And then up in here, you got your steel tier. And with your steel tier, you get the sniper rifle, which is super useful until you get into your aluminum tier up in here. And when you hit the aluminum tier, almost every single enemy is going to be shielded. So the sniper rifle is going to be a heck of a lot less useful. So you have to start finding other ways around it, and then you'll be introduced to your other best friend, and I think one that most people use. Let me go ahead and pull up my research tree. I'm pretty sure everybody in the closed beta had one of these. It is called the drill shot. And so what this does is it sticks a sticky dart onto something's shield and it'll burrow into it and penetrate it after a short time. So there's a bit of a delay, and the enemies can juke it off of themselves. They can dodge and pull the dart off, so there is that too, but it is an excellent way to... Did I get the chest up here? I don't think I did. You know, to kill things is that way. I got one calibrated servo alert. Wow, that's what I was after this entire time. But yeah, it's a, you know, a good way to kill enemies. And then you get to the guys with flamethrowers, and, you know, melee is always viable once you get up to the shielded level, because whereas shooting will take your shield down, meleeing will not. But you see, it is consuming my stamina, as does parrying and dodging and all that, so you get to a point where you have to do a lot of stamina management. But it's really interesting because I feel like the game is constantly forcing you to evolve your playstyle and adapt. Not just, these enemies are harder, I need better armor. I mean, yeah, kind of. But I kind of gimped myself a lot when I was playing in the beta, because I refused not to wear a still suit because water management is rough in some of those armors. And like your heavy armor, it's going to also have a lot of downsides to it. It's going to be vulnerable to fire damage, so your flamethrower boys, it does not feel good. It goes straight through. You're also going to have to deal with, you know, a lot of other issues with it. You know, the water management is kind of rough. You move slower physically. Move slower. Your scout armor is good, but, you know, not as much defense. So I always take the time to try to farm for, when I'm wearing now, the armored still suit pieces, because that's sort of the best of both worlds. I think if you got a special recipe for scout armor, it's not as good. I think it's about as good as the basic scout armor. This is actually a lower level piece that I got down here in South Basin. The spot here will be your best friend if you want to try out a still suit, armored still. Dew Gap Gateway. And then the spot that I farm for the iron tier is right here behind the outpost, Anvil Outpost, right up in this cave, like back in here, right there. And there's a chest back in there that will drop blueprints for it. I'm just missing the chest. I've been getting a bunch of other ones. I have not gotten the chest yet. Alright, so I don't know if I need to go up or down for this one. Let me see if I can see it on the mini-map. I think it's a little too far. I think I'm gonna go back up. Also, I did miss the area that has probably the most cobalt here. So I like this spot for cobalt farming. Just kind of a side note. It's a steel tier item. You'll need it steel and up. Sorry, it is not called cobalt. It is called, what is this stuff called? Yeah. Etheorite crystals. You will need a ton of that for crafting. And so you can do this cave without ever having to interact with an enemy. But if you come in through here, you got a couple of nodes there, you got the box, and then you've got back in here an insane number of cobalt nodes. Somebody must have come and picked up. There should be one more. But yeah, so you know, you can just face a couple of enemies. Just, no problem. So go ahead and get out of here. I am trying to work. I'm trying not to get too far ahead. Like I've got, like I said, I got a ton of quests still down in the iron region to do. I haven't been doing them without friends. I've been waiting for all of them to get the quest. But I have been gathering mats, and my one buddy who, you know, is new to the game, wanted to come out and get the stuff to make steel, and I'm like, you know what? I can do that. I'm gonna get the stuff and start working towards making a buggy, because I will need that. That thing is excellent for mining, by the way. So yeah, there's just a lot of really, really good things. The building is fun. I like the story is good. If you're a fan of the Dune world, it's very enjoyable. It's an interesting take on the story, and a believable take. You know, if you know anything about the story of Dune, because the Maldives sees infinite possibilities, and this is one of the possibilities, basically, is this world. And I think that's an interesting idea. It's a good concept. It allows them to make a story in the world without having to, you know, do do anything that could potentially be lore breaking. So, there we go. Oops. Wait. Oh, my bike storage is full. Okay, good to know. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, down south they direct you to make yourself a what is this? Sand bike, like the one I'm riding. The higher tiers do go faster, a little bit faster. So it is with the sand bike worth bumping up the tier. I wouldn't do steel personally because I'm gonna go for a buggy with steel. Did I pass that mine? It must be down below. Oh man, I just want some more of those things. Only have found one. My buddy and I were out of here for like an hour and we only found one. I'm trying to hit these mines. I know there's a really good mine for them, but I cannot remember where on earth it is. It's probably down. So yeah, your vehicles don't take fall damage, so if you need to go down a cliff, you can always take your vehicle down a cliff. Hope for the best. Let's see. Really, I don't want to go that way. Ooh. From what I remember, there's good stuff in that cave. I think that cave is pretty low down. Okay, so I need to go down to where these two are and get these things I need. Oh god, I can't do this. I gotta... I don't do well with heights, so... something like that, I feel like I need to close my eyes. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back and go the long way. Unless I find a good spot to take my vehicle down. I'm gonna go the long way. I swear there was another one. Went this way. Yeah. So yeah, there are a few things that I am not a fan of going back with impressions here. And I'm not a fan of the lance rod system. I will kind of explain why, and at the risk of being a little too liberal with my words, I noticed in the closed beta that whenever the lance rod resets by noonish, they had already finished the lance rod. It was, you would see somebody start and then it would, like in less than an hour, it would be done. And it was always one faction that had it. And it was always done super quickly. And that did not sit right with me. Because there are points out in the deep desert that you and your guild need to go stand in to flip. And, you know, if the faction you're in isn't on ASAP in the middle of the afternoon, you're not going to win the lance rod. And one of the bonuses is full loot, and I don't like that. I don't. When you die out in the deep desert, it's basically like dying anywhere. You're gonna drop any blueprints you have on you, half of your mats, bandages, ammos, basically anything that's a consumable. You'll drop half of that, coins too, and a player can pick those up. Any other stuff on you, like your gear, your weapons, all that, not lootable. In the deep desert, should the lance rod win, that is a bonus that can be chosen. That's bad enough, but I will get into more details here. So you can see, here's some of the potential rewards for the lance rod for completion. You can see some of the things you can do. So you can do these things here, right? You can do like delivering things, killing things, all sorts of stuff like that. Or you can just go stand on a point, and the point will flip it. And that's in the deep desert, the PvP zone. So I tried one day. I noticed that the NPCs that are right next to my house were one of the options to do to complete a Lance Rod thing. So I spent probably an hour killing NPCs and was only a smidge through the progress. It was a little rough. You know, all I had to do was go out in the deep desert and find a point and stand in it, but those are going to be contested, so. But what I really don't like is a buddy of mine was contacted by a friend of his that was putting together a guild, and somehow a bunch of these big guilds got a lot of closed beta information. And I know it was not him because he hadn't really played much, but he was sharing some of the things that they noticed and the plan. So basically the plan was and is that these big guilds choose a world and control the world. Both sides, both factions, and, you know, they have, you know, each guild can have 32 people, but they basically have a conglomerate, and they choose which faction gets the flip for the week, and they choose what gets voted for as the reward for the week. So you can only take one of those three. And you know, like I said, anybody that participates, you know, gets special rewards, but the faction that wins gets the buff as long as you are in the guild that is your faction. But it feels really kind of terrible, you know, that basically everything is going to be predetermined, and these big guilds are going to be playing each other. They're going to control both sides of the faction, and it might be like this particular one that he was contacted by was predominantly Atreides. So most weeks Atreides were going to win, but some weeks they'd say, hey, it's Harkonnen's week. Harkonnen can win. Now, fortunately for all of us, when they announced the private servers, they chose to go to a private server. I think that's a good thing. But it was not just this big guild. There was evidently a very large meeting of a lot of large guilds, and this is what they discussed. And this is what they determined. And I think that the Lance Rod system is just bad. It's poorly done. And I think it is going to be abused in a lot of ways. And I think it's going to be unfortunate for a lot of people. I just don't like it. I'm not really a fan either of the forced PvP. Sure, PvP is fun. It sure could probably be something I would enjoy playing, but I've got plenty of friends that do not like PvP. They do not want to deal with it at all. You need to die. You need to die. Oh gosh. I'm getting myself killed because I'm running my mouth. Oh god, that's bad. Oh no. Oh no. The shield. The shield back up. There we go. Leave me alone. Yeah, I probably should not be in this area. This area is definitely higher than what I'm supposed to be in. Let's heal up. There we go. Get my sword out. Oh, yes it was. So dark. There we go. Sometimes I just need to be in position. There we go.
Sandstorm is approaching.
Oh, my bike should be safe where it is. Let's see. I still have not found any of these servos I'm supposed to be finding. Yeah, I like this too. This is something nice too. It's like I need calibrated servo. Or servox, and you can see what kind of camps I can find these in. So, that's why I'm here. Pretty sure I'm in the right place. But I'm struggling. I know I can go across the way and get it, but I kind of want to go check and make sure my sand bike is okay. Since that sandstorm is coming. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of it because most of the content of the game can be solo. Anything in Haga Basin, as long as you're careful, can be soloed. Because my buddy and I, just on very different times, we were doing pretty much everything individually. And I was not having a problem. I mean, yeah, I might die every so often or struggle like I just did, doing something dumb, not paying attention. But for the most part, you can handle it. But the deep desert, the few times I went out there, I only ran into a person once when I was screwing around out there. And promptly died to rockets. It was ugly. But I kind of expected it to happen. I had made 4 ornithopters and just wanted to go out and try it on my own. And I went to a dungeon. I had some of my best gear on, because I figured, why not? You know, let's just take it and go for it. And I was in the testing chamber all by myself, and I got into a room, and it locked me in the room, and could not figure out how to progress to the next stage. They just kept spawning on me. I think it was a thing where I had to kill everybody, but I couldn't kill them fast enough to stop them from spawning. So it's not something I would ever try doing alone again. I'm sure there's people out there that are better gamers than me that can do that alone. But with what I had, I couldn't. I barely managed to stay alive. Basically, it was the Bene Gesserit passives that were keeping me alive. So, it was still fun though. I still enjoy checking it out, but I just kind of hit a point where I was like, okay, I've got to, you know, hit escape, hit the respawn button, get out of here. I'll take the loss. I think I only had like a little bit of ammo on me. Nothing important. So, I like, again, and I don't know if I was maybe missing something to shift the stage or something. But, yeah, it was a little rough. It was a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. I remember down in here somewhere there's a huge base down on the bottom floor, but I don't remember where exactly it is. Where did it even realize? Let's see. Okay, so this one says it's down below, so... Yeah, one of these is... got tons of these in it, but it's filled with radiation. And it's pretty gnarly. Radiation works interesting in this game. There is no such thing as being fully immune. You just take less damage with the radiation suits. I mean, maybe the end tier. Yeah. Ooh, shield. Ah, screwed that up. Okay. Come on, again. There we go. Oh man. Sometimes I have some issues here. Ah. There we go. That's better. I'm sure most of it is user error, but yeah, sometimes I've been trying to hit the button to hold down the sword and it's just not quite registering. I don't know if it's like a little bit of latency or just I'm terrible. Probably a combination of the two. Oh, I know advanced servo works. Or servox or whatever the hell they're called. Give me your blood. So I'm not a big fan of that, but I don't know. I think it'll all get sorted out in time. I think a lot of developers, in my personal opinion, have tried to do something that seems like a great idea in theory, forgetting that people are going to find every which way to exploit their great idea and turn it into something awful. We'll see. I'm hoping somewhere down the line that they choose to create a PvE only server. Because I know like, my friends would definitely prefer that. And to be honest, because I do a lot of stuff solo, I might honestly prefer it too. You know, like I said, that guild was willing to recruit us, but they wanted a commitment that you would not believe. I'm like, wow, I don't want to, you know, like a job here. No, thank you. I don't want to, you know, have to show up on time for meetings and every time there's a meeting and worry about getting my quotas and this and that. And it's like, oh gosh, that's just no for me. Thank you. I'm not sharing any conversation I've had with the devs, which is not something we're supposed to do. And I've not had any conversation personally with the devs, so that's not a problem. I'm sharing something that was shared with me, and that's that they claim, these big guilds claim to have tried to have a talk with the devs too. But I have no proof of that, and I have no knowledge of that. So. I don't know. Again, I just like the Linux system. I mean, I could deal with anything else in this game. I love most of the features of this game. I love the sense of danger you constantly feel.
Need to reload!
Gosh, I need the sword master skills, so I understand. Do not have enough. There we go. Thank you, turret. Bless your little turrety heart. So yeah, that's my impression of the game. I think it's very fun, and I think you kind of get forced into the melee a bit. And I know, like my friend, she's currently struggling with it. I know I struggled a bit. I started. You can see here I'm still struggling a bit. But once you get the sort of the hang of it, I think it's really good, really well done, and really fun to play around with. She'll get it too. For me, because I'm not real good at... I don't have very quick reflexes. Basically, my cue for when to block to parry is actually auditory. Before they strike, they go, yeah! Or something like that. And when you hear them do that, if you tap your block button, usually can parry. Not always, but usually. Oh, so what we're listening to right now is the in-game radio, by the way. Some of the music was actually from the old Dune 2 video game, which I played as a kid and I loved it. I'm definitely dating myself there, but I don't care. It was a good game. Good game. First RTS. There's two. Okay, okay. Where am I being shot from? Hello? I stick my head up. Shoot me. Oh. Sniper. Hello? 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 Somewhere over there, I think. Although every time I stick my head up, that's when I get shot. Down here? And don't know. I need the personal light. Oh, ha ha! I saw you. Yes. There's a good bit of drop on this thing here. Oops, no, not that much. Yeah. Sniper rifle poison. I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to have any Jesuit skill on at the moment to metastasize. Metastasize. Metabolize. Dear God. Oh, I'm having a day. Let me tell you. Metabolize poison techniques. Metabolize poison. Yeah. Yeah. I had stam. I don't know why I wasn't metabolizing poison. Maybe I need to take that skill off and put it back on because I noticed this the second time I had stam and poison was hurting. I swear, the Bene Gesserit, terrible starting class, at least for me, because this does not work the way you would think it does. Excuse me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that, I had to cough. Does not work the way you think it would. It's not particularly good, and I found it was kind of doing more harm than good. But all of these passives are incredible. This one here, maxed out. Oh, that's what kept me alive when I was in that Imperial testing chamber. Was this right here. Because I think I had it maxed out, so it was like 35, I think. Or no, it was one of these. It's like when you got really low on health, you started healing. Was it this one? Yeah, okay, it was this one. But it was great. Oh yeah, this resist stagger. Yeah, it was kind of awesome. Let's see. My cat has joined us because she feels compelled to sit in my lap whenever I stream. She'll ignore me all day. It's like, hey, I'm gonna stream. That's like, hey, calm me down. She's probably just like, oh, she's talking to herself. Let me go check on her. Let's see. Looking for some more containers because I really need these things. I really like the way they did the overworld map too. You can tell there's going to be lots of fun things to go and explore at some point. I think it's going to be really, really well done for, say, like future DLC and other little things that they add to the game. I cannot show you the overworld map because I do not have a helicopter, and I do not plan on getting one anytime soon in my attempt to go slow. I am not trying to be competitive in PvP. Will we be at some point? Yeah, maybe. Not me. My buddies that are actually good at PvP. Me, I just follow orders. That's what I'm best at. You tell me shoot things, and I shoot. Yeah. I can handle that much. You tell me fall back, I fall back. That's my area of expertise, following orders like a champ. I love PvP and some MMOs, but I am absolutely garbage at most of them. Like, oh man, Gloria Victis. I miss that game. I was so terrible at it, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. Let's see. So, here's the worst part about this place that I'm in right now. I've been running my mouth, and I don't remember how I got in here. Wish me luck. I gotta find my way out. I wanna say it was this way? Somewhere? Ah. Darn you, Emperor's Wings. Oh, man. My bike should be on my mini-map. Hopefully that's the right bike and not the spare I have at home. Oh, he is right next to my bike. On the bright side, maybe this chest come back up and there's thingies in it for me. And no, it was not. I need more than 3 of these. I'm being careful because I remember that one of these has radiation in it. I don't remember which one it is. So, good luck to me. Wait. Yes. One of them I could get a bunch of those at. I don't remember which one it was. Having tons and tons and tons of them. Oh man, the bottom floor of the rift is the last place I want to be. I always get lost getting out of here. That's just a random dead body. Ornithopters, by the way, excellent for these Boltzmann actuators, I think is what they're called. Let's see. I can't remember what it is. Oh, no. Inventory. Take some bar. Now I have room. I think it's time for me to go home. Ugh. Okay, so I kept this scrap metal, the thing I really didn't need, and dropped the thing I actually needed on the ground. Great. That's just great. There we go. Boltzmann actuators. I did remember it correctly. Alright. I don't think I want to go this way. Alright. But I will. I'll try going this way, because I'm pretty sure the grasp has a thing in it. Let's find out. So I want to go southeast. Let's get out of here. I don't want to deal with a shipwreck. Oh hey, this place. I vaguely remember it. The quest will pull you here at some point. Let's see. Hello. How are you?
That's close enough. State your business. One can't be too careful out here. All you need to know is, in the house words, the alloys we produce are Appear is a planet of rolling hills and extensive mountain. Our orbital refinery, built over the centuries. I'm Theodoric I. Like many in my family, I graduated with distinction from the War Academy. Well said. It is the place where I can best serve the interests of my house wishes to survey the mining galleries here. Then I must thank Providence for my...
So, how's it going? Let's see here. Pop on this. I think I have actually a faction quest around here. Wait, no. Where's my next faction quest? No, I think that one comes later. Working for House Harkonnen is interesting. I can tell you that much. But let me tell you, that ornithopter skin makes it all worthwhile. It is so good. And the building piece is just like absolutely disgustingly good. To get up higher. I remember a way out from the bottom, but only barely. Let's see. Not even quite there yet, but I will need to go up. So I have gotten so lost in this place, let me tell you. They call me Wrong Way Ray for a reason. And so that reason is you can count on me to always be lost. And the scary thing is, when I have more knowledge about where to go in this game than other people do, they are kind of forced to follow me into my lostness, and it is not good for them. Wait, I was gonna check out the cave over there, wasn't I? You know what? No, my inventory's full. I'm pretty sure you can get, I think it's this cave that I found the steel tier still suit blueprint for the chest. But I could be wrong. It's been a while. Oh yeah, so you see all that slick, oily black construction there on the Harkonnen stuff? Yeah, that is the construction set you get. The Atreides is boring. Actually, it's nice. It is nice in its own right, but I like the Harkonnen stuff. And like, a lot of the Atreides building pieces are blue, right? And I'm a huge fan of the color blue. But the red and black, the Harkonnen stuff, it's just like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It just looks so good. Not even my color palette. Oh, that's right, I needed to go down there and around. Yeah. That's okay, I can go off the cliff. Again, no fall damage on your cliff, so. Flip. Yeah! Do a barrel roll! Oh, that's the other thing with the way the ornithopter flies. Oh my goodness. So you got your normal helicopter mode, and then you can hit, I don't know if this is default or just me and my wacky controls. Because I rebind the controls in every game in a very odd manner that suits me. But you can hit shift and you go into like glider mode, and oh, she's so smooth in glider mode. I love it. Oh, these rude people building their homes right in the middle of a freaking road, blocking it from every side so that you have to go the long way around. It is so obnoxious, people. You don't need to be rude. This guy here, he has made it impossible to get through. Like, I'm sorry, in the closed beta, people were polite. Somebody had built something like that, they would have had an opening for other people to go through if they need to pass through there. They just make a little tunnel big enough for a buggy, and people could drive right through it. It's just so incredibly rude to do something like that. Oh, and this is my weird house because I plan on putting these pentashields up so I can drive my ornithopter in on that side and my buggy in on this side. Once I get the Harkonnen stuff, I will be changing it. We are home. I've been having fun. It took me forever to come up with the design. I couldn't think of anything, and I'm like, why didn't I do this in the closed beta? I just built a thing, and I was like, I'm not happy with this. I'll do the real thing in live. You know, it's fine. It'll do me for now. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of just fiddled around with things until I found one that I was okay with. I think I'm going to replace this. Yeah, I'm definitely going to replace all this with a Penta shield at some point. I still wasn't sure if I wanted to have this fully down. It looked a little weird, but yeah, I don't know. It looks okay in here. I'm happy enough with it. So, oh yeah. This is something that most people don't realize that you can do. Is it this box? Yeah, it's this box. And I am ashamed to admit I did not find out that I could do this until very late on. That you can select the drop down here when you're looking at one of your boxes in your house. And just drag everything from your vehicle into your storage box. And that is amazing. I thought I had to hand move everything on and off, and it was not great, really. Right. So this box that I just dropped off? Okay, nothing. Let me see. Ah, buggy parts. Oh, these guys. Gosh. I might have to find a down ship and get these. I'm pretty sure that's where you can get a decent chunk of them. You just have to worry about Steve. Steve. That's what the server I played on everybody was calling the sandworm. Steve. I don't see any crash ships around here. I'm probably going to take this bike apart and just throw it into a box somewhere. So I'll give you advice too, because I was showing my buddy where to pay taxes. And before I knew it, he had paid taxes, but not his own. Because we all, you know, we're a good friend group, known each other for many, many years. Just put everybody as co-owners so they can take what they want, leave what they want, do what they want. And when we went to go pay taxes, I saw a list of like 5 different places that all said like advanced sub-fief. Yeah, so you can name it and then you can see whose house you're paying tax on. I was being nice and I went and paid everybody's tax for them. I think the period is 2 weeks for the tax. Pretty sure it is. And it's not expensive. As you start upgrading your house, size-wise, it gets bigger, you know, the tax bill that is, as does the house, but it's still relatively affordable. It's not spice, which, thank goodness, that's all I'll say. I won't mention the way things once were, but it definitely works out nicely. But
Where's my backup?
okay, I didn't boop on that one. I missed my drinker dagger that gave me blood in my blood bags. Really, this is where my character is pretty much geared to, and it should be having, but it's not, because I could. Me personally, I don't think I spent too much time in the Iron Tier. I think I went to Steel pretty quickly, but I spent a lot of time in the Copper Tier before I even moved up here. I would actually even take iron in my bike and drive it across the desert, scarily, back to my home in the south, but they really try to push you out of the south, which I think is good, because that's what they start. When there's too many homes, it makes it difficult for people to start. They even asked people to not just abandon their house, like the quest said from the map. but to actually destroy it, because people weren't quite figuring out that a house was abandoned. Like mine, I had abandoned it, and when I went down yesterday, it was still standing, so I pulled the door off. And then when my friend told me, because I figured people will see no door, they can go in and take anything. They figured out, oops, missed my block there. There you go, see? But when I took the door off and I went back today, yeah, people have figured it out. They had taken it. Yeah, no. Yeah. And I'm full on blood. I need to go drop that off. See, the copper tiers, your ingots aren't going to cost you any water. Once you get up to the iron tier and above, everything you craft is going to cost you water. So you're going to be constantly draining things for blood. I have taken my dew harvester here and gone up to the flowers that give you water. With a bunch of empty leader johns and done that to get some water. You'll need a lot. A lot. Alright, let me go use some water. Oh, whoops. You saw nothing. Right here, this is what I need. Steel ingots. Yeah. And I'm gonna go make some more cobalt. I needed to make a few things, but I'd accidentally spent all my mats on other stuff. So I had to go back for more mats. My buddy, he and I were gaming together, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm like, okay, I'll show you the exit to the rift, and then I went back out for more supplies. I'm like, I need more. I am so resource poor. So, alright, I'm going to go do my favorite spots. It's the armored iron steel suit. Still got one piece of the copper, by the way. I might have already said this. I'm going to say it again. Copper tier armored steel suit right here. Do gap gateway. It's good stuff. Alright. Now. I should have done this on the way back, but I was full already, so. Coming for me, Steve? No, Steve. Oh yeah, so you probably want to hear what the other... No, you probably don't care, but I care. Here's what the other radio stations sound like. Oh, this one's actually playing music. Before they play a lot of, like, space operas. That's what I'm going to call them. Like dramas, soap operas. It's interesting. And some music. So, this one's usually like a space opera. Yeah, so a thing that wasn't in the closed beta, or I shouldn't say open beta, the beta that anybody that pre-ordered, limited beta, there we go. This is your ornithopter
Can
pilot.
I fly you somewhere today?
She'll take you between
Music to
the
my ears.
outposts.
The basin is a
safe way
pretty
to move.
big place.
Move your stuff.
Could you narrow it down a little?
So, yeah, I have all of them unlocked because reasons.
All right, suit yourself.
And there's the big
Music
hubs
to
of
my
Airkeen
ears.
and Harco
Where
too.
do you want to go?
There's an auction hall there, bank, all kinds of good stuff. That's where you pay your taxes in the house. And, yeah, lots of fun stuff there. I don't know what the reset day is. It used to be Monday.
Missing from an iconic
I don't know that
harvester,
it still is, though.
and nothing is as it seems. In this tale of intrigue, betrayal, and
Oh, here we go.
deadly ambition,
Video.
the sands of Arrakis hide many secrets.
Look
Join
at
us now
the sands of
as
time,
we
the sands of
begin to
Arrakis.
unravel
Oh,
the
gosh.
dark and mysterious truth behind the disappearance of Crew Chief Jarek Thorne. It's Death on the Titan, Episode 1, eye of the storm.
It was my first time on the Sand
I'll talk
Titan,
about that.
but I knew it well. Everyone did. It was
I
the
don't know
last
which in this game. I think he's pretty decent, but sometimes I can't recall. Like,
a six
I'll be
deck
whacking one with
factory
the sword,
harvester of the
which is
rebuilt
good for me.
Dyrmidium centrifuge.
But I'm definitely just missing on this guy.
The rust-hued colossus had become more than its well-worn constituent parts. The Sand Titan had become a symbol of the Spice Miners Guild itself. Its silhouette was a well-known and comforting sight upon the dunes. But I wasn't there for the
This is
tour.
Tracy.
I'd followed a long and circuitous route from transport boxer to
Finally, I
transport
got the
boxer,
chest.
as I worked my way into
Yes,
the
I
deep
needed
desert where the
that. I
Sand
needed the
Titan roamed.
chest.
As a senior ombudsman for the Spice Miners Guild,
Is that guy
it
still
was my
looking?
job to solve problems,
Yeah, sometimes
make
people
sure
can't
that
find
the
it out
spice kept flowing. The spice wasn't flowing, though.
No, I
The
don't
Sand
think he is.
Titan had been pinned down between two storm fronts
Where's he
and had
at?
gone dark for almost a week.
See him?
That in itself wasn't unusual.
Huh. I guess I got
The
lost.
deep desert
Maybe
was
they get
known
it.
to be a
just seems
chaotic and
weird that the
violent
membrane's
wasteland
back.
with rapidly shifting weather patterns amongst
Didn't even
other
know there was stuff back
palpable
here.
dangers. No, the unusual part was the content of a
It's gonna be
secure
rude.
transmission
Take somebody
from
else's
the
blood.
Titan's command deck. It turns out there'd been a suspicious death on
Yeah,
the
sometimes
Great
I have to like
Harvester,
shoot because it's so well
and the
hidden.
crew was paralyzed with anger and
You're
fear.
like, hey, it's over here.
Unfortunately, anger and fear are
I do
bad
not
for
use the in-game
production.
microphone.
So I was ordered out of my
My friend and
comfortable
I had
existence
somebody
in Arakeen to
during
find
the,
the Sand Titan
limited beta.
and make
so we're
things
asking
right.
us, it was like,
As the
"Hey, girl,
last
what you
leg
doing?
of
What you
my
doing, ladies? I
fragmented
see
journey
you. Like,
neared its
standing
completion,
outside our house doing that
I
stuff.
examined Chief
And then
Thorne's
finally he goes,
guild
I'm
record
just
once
kidding.
more.
I know you guys
Chief
probably do have a
Thorne
nice day.
was a man of
And then
business
he left.
and was well
And she and I
regarded
were
by
just
his
like,
crew. By
whoa,
all
you for
accounts,
once,
Thorne
you're
wasn't one to
actually
shirk
wrong.
his responsibilities or fail in his duties.
It's
No,
like,
in
yep,
fact,
we are not going to reply
Thorne
to
had
that.
never even been late for a single shift until that fateful night. My first interviews were with the tool pushers assigned to Thorne's shift.
He just didn't show up. I knew right away something was wrong, so I went down to check his cabin, but he wasn't there. We were between two Coriolis fronts at the time.
Can say
We were running dark.
nothing to
That means we were operating mechanical only.
end up
All
never
electronic
even
systems have to be shut down. You know, to protect against the heavy electromagnetic interference generated by the storms.
Anyhow,
Like I said, we were running dark.
has had some
Means all
interesting
holograms were offline.
interactions with people.
There's no
It
quick
is,
way of finding them. Time is a massive beast.
So, what did you do?
Shoot, I was playing Call of Duty.
We did it the slow way. Searched everywhere from the top down. That's the command deck, the mess, the crew deck, the crew lounges, the
Send me your
intake
boobs,
deck, the
like, send me
processing
boob
deck,
pics, and I'm like,
storage racks,
I
shaft
interacted with you
disposal. They even
for
sorted out
like
and checked the
maybe
flight deck.
5 minutes.
No easy feat on the edge of two hard-charging Coriolis fronts.
And what did you find?
Nothing. No one had seen Thorne anywhere. It was like he
And it was
vanished.
I didn't want to
Thin air.
yeah. I was playing it for friends. We all do that, right? Play
Hours
a game when
passed
you're like,
as the crew's
"Not my
anxiety
thing.
grew with each tick of the clock.
I love my
Then, in the
friends,
early
this is
morning
their
light,
thing."
shift supervisor Lena Orlov made a
That
gruesome
was definitely
discovery.
what it was for
I
me.
found him. What was left of him, anyway.
I would say
body had been
most of my
pulverized in
experience is
separator.
gaming on
I only know it
Xbox
was him
Live.
from the clotted tuft of blonde hair
like that,
mixed into
except
the
that I
stew
met
of blood and bones.
Some absolutely wonderful people
Crew Chief Thorne
playing Mass Effect
was dead.
3.
That was for
And
certain.
I am still
And the
I
circumstances
love
of
them,
his
and
death
I've
were
met,
anything but
at least
clear.
one of them.
But what might have been
and they're
written
just
off as an
absolutely
accident at first
lovely people.
soon began to look more and more suspicious.
This isn't supposed to be possible. The mechanical separator had a failsafe built in.
I was gonna
A
start
dead man
streaming.
switch to prevent this very thing from happening.
Oh, yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
had to deliberately override that
That's what I'm supposed to
and
be
multiple
doing.
other safety features to
What am I
cause
missing?
this.
Must be iron.
At that point, Captain Andahar Noah, the Sand
Make
Titan's
fancy my
capable
steel
leader,
production here.
sent his call
It's
for
not
help
done.
before launching his
it's
own
done.
investigation.
No.
And among the crew, one
all right.
name quickly rose to the surface. Deckhand Rico Marr. After an anonymous report, Rico had been investigated for skimming unprocessed spice, an offense that led to a heated confrontation with crew chief Thorne. Tell me,
I will
Tessa,
forget. And then
how did you come to be in the crew lounge when Thorne and Rico came to blows?
It was Captain Noah's Oath Day. I was passing through the lounge on the way to pick up the cake.
And what did you see when you got there?
Thorne and Rico going at it. Well, there was a lot of yelling at first, but it got physical quick. I mean...
Still stands near. Oh, house of just and noble.
Oh god, no.
Could it be?
He's activated a hidden mechanism, opening a
Yes.
wall and closing another. And wow, what an unexpected turn! Now Kanto is trapped in one of the labyrinth's deadliest rooms.
That's the chamber of the venomous rock lizards.
Oh gosh. I like that you can see it first. Okay, so the engine is like when you're riding it to see how they are. You can also hold down F. Okay, not when you hit that tool. And see kind of like your vehicle management, see how things are doing.
Many parts of the labyrinth change from year to year, but the rock lizards remain a constant threat.
The Ishkali rock lizards are highly territorial and will attack anything that enters their domain.
There we go.
Their venom can paralyze a full-grown man in seconds, and they are known to swarm their prey, ripping them apart with their small but powerful
I had a
jaws.
temporary house set
Oh,
up there.
poor Kanto doesn't stand a chance in there.
I was...
Mina, if you only knew.
And I put all
The
my
rock
items
lizards are moving in on Kanto. They're
Anything
known for their brutal
destroyed by the
efficiency.
sandstorm.
This will be over quickly.
Watch closely, Vera. You're about to witness something extraordinary.
What's happening? The lizards! They're all attacking him! There! The lizards! They're responding to his commands!
They absolutely are. Can't you figure out why, Vera?
I don't see, unless... I've heard of certain indigenous peoples of Ishkal who can communicate with these deadly creatures, but I never thought I'd see it with my own eyes. Tell me the truth, Maxim. Is that poor slave indeed a native of that barren planet?
I started listening to the radio station, sorry. I'm enjoying it. Woo! Spice Blow. Let's go see if we can see it.
This, of course, changes everything.
Indeed it does.
Dude, sounded like
it out, and it's going to make the rest of this competition
Find out.
very interesting.
Yeah,
The
there it
little
is.
slave
Look
who
at
was
that.
underestimated by everyone now has the upper hand. The tables have turned, and this competition just
Best time
became
to
a
get
whole
spice,
lot
I
more
found, is, like,
unpredictable.
Stay tuned
off
to this
hours,
frequency
late at
for
night.
more updates and thrilling commentary from the heart of Katie Prime. The man track continues,
We also
and
kind
the
of watch
excitement is
Spice
far
Blow
from
is.
over.
That is not a good spot. That is the so it's my understanding that there are only 2 up now in Haga Basin.
From the games. The competition is heating up, and you don't want to miss
active,
a
I should
second
say.
of the man trap.
The rest are all desert. That's sort of an effort to try to
Wow.
go into the PvP zone.
The spectacle of the Harkonnen
Grumble.
family games
You know my opinion on that.
unequaled
I just like
throughout
that
the
greatly.
galaxy. The excitement is
So
growing as the
these are gonna get
contestants
pretty
engage
competitive.
with the terrors of the labyrinth
I believe.
and each other.
Listen.
I don't know about you, but I,
One of the
for
things I
one,
think they did
just
that's really
cannot
cool
wait until
is
the next installment of the
they,
man trap.
added a
Keep the
blueprint
momentum
system for
going with
you.
another stirring anthem.
And you'll have just sort of like the outline, because you can make an outline before you actually build anything to see how your building looks, which is probably what I should have done before I had my house, but anyway, and if you have a house you like, you can copy paste. I have a house I like. It's just a really small little thing, and I've placed it out a few times. Okay, I'm sorry, that is too tempting. And let me put my Benny Gesserit skill in the bar. Skills. Equip. Sprint. Alright, let's see how far out I can go before I get worm sign. So, I'm pretty sure now the worms hang about when they catch you mining one of these. Alright, I'm gonna walk from here. Worm eats you, you lose everything. I should probably just risk taking my bike out here, but I'm not. I refuse to risk it. Oh, messing with the spice will. I know there's a compactor out there you can get that has less worm threat. Sometimes it's best to just poke a little bit, see where Steve is, and then run. This is gonna aggro. Worse is when one of these spawns in a drum scene. Areas. And
You are listening to frequency 152.6, the voice of House Harkonnen. We are Arrakis. Now witness as the dark and
like
tangled truths of House Atreides are revealed by...
But it takes 35 to get my spice punch. So I only have 54. I have less than one spice punch.
Once a high-ranking advisor to the Atreides regime, I have since escaped and live under the protection of our good baron.
So I've got to be very
I
careful.
cannot divulge my name, but I fear for my earbuds.
Make sure
still
do
trust
not
the
ever
possibilities.
turn your shield
I
on.
am not here to tell you what to think.
It will bring
I
him
only offer you questions.
instantly. Very low.
Keys that you might use to unlock your own truth. Today's question. What is the price of loyalty? Consider the loyal soldiers of House Atreides. They fight,
so you
they
should be hanging
die,
about.
they sacrifice everything for their duke. But what do they gain in return? A pat on the back, a word of praise, a posthumous medal that does nothing to comfort their grieving families. Think of the countless lives spent in the name of a house that promises
I
glory.
don't know how they changed it. I know they changed it. I don't know how.
What is the true
I was
cost
worried
of
I was
such
going to burn myself
loyalty?
out, so I made myself
How
quit
many
playing.
families must be torn apart? How many futures shattered before one realizes the futility of blind allegiance? Ask yourself, what does the Duke truly value? Is it the lives of his soldiers? Or the power he wields through their obedience? Why does he send them to die on distant sands, fighting battles that serve only to consolidate his own power? Now reflect on the lives of the Harkonnen soldiers. They too fight and die, but they do so with the understanding of their role in a grander scheme. They are not deceived by false promises of glory, but are part of a machine that rewards strength and cunning.
As long as it's in the vehicle
Dear
backup
listener,
tool,
ponder this.
you won't lose it if
Is
you
it
get eaten
better
by
to live
one,
as a
even though
pawn
everything
in a
else
game of
is gone.
deception?
Oh gosh, my cat just scared the
knowing
poop
the
out of me.
true nature of the beast you serve? What is the true cost of loyalty? And who truly benefits from it?
God, I
Follow
missed my
these
ornithopter.
questions to their
Where's my
ultimate
land and ornithopter
conclusion,
on it?
dear
Shoot a few
listener.
times, fly up.
And you may just find your
Land,
truth.
shoot a few times, fly up, pick up a bunch. Let Steve go roar. Oh gosh, the cat just jumped and scared me. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. I'm not a fan, not a fan. I am freaked out, the cat's messing around. And there we go. You gotta get away. Bye bye! Oh, so it's playing the same songs as that other station. Or did I go back to that station without realizing it? No, that's okay.
Ren could seem to rest, but for the blood that stained the shirt across his mighty chest. That lasgun knew just where to strike. As plainly you can see. Said Idaho to those around. Yes, it knew more than we. It shunned his brow, heart was weak and poor. That much all of
I will
us
say
knew.
once in the... I don't know if
But found
this
instead
intended
what
feature,
better was his heart.
or
Forever true.
was it supposed to happen?
The word spread quick
Once in
among
the
all
closed beta, I
those
was trying
who
to
had
get to a
survived the
spice node and
fight.
mine it.
And every
And
soldier did
another
agree.
player attacked me.
Duncan Idaho was right.
And actually did damage.
Ren Darvo was no thinker.
Ran
His mind
because I was
clear.
not prepared. I was naked, I think?
His head, they said,
no, I don't think
was
I was naked. I think I
thick
was just
wood.
wearing poopy armor.
But his
still.
heart was made
And I
of
didn't have my
gold.
sword or anything on my back. But I had to run to an outpost that was secure before I got rid of the dude who was chasing me. I don't think they're PvP though, because any other time the game tells you when PvP is enabled, I don't know how it happened, but it definitely did. Look at that, there's a pile of spice up there. I gotta go get it. It's just hanging back. It's 1,000 away. This is so risky. This is so risky. Oh, there's a sandstorm. Okay, okay. This last pile. I'm gonna get this last pile, and then I'm done. Going back. Alright. I'm gonna get out of here in case that sandstorm hits.
Sector weather
Yep.
alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
So I like being in the sandstorm more in Conan. I think it looks cool. But this is more realistic, and they're very, very cool sandstorms. So you cannot survive standing out in the sandstorm. However, should somebody, one of these paths somebody completely block. I have a porch that is counted as enclosed, so you can sit and watch the sandstorms as they happen. It's a really good view too. I like my view. I'm gonna head back home and make it before the sandstorm hits, just in case. This way it might be faster to stay on the outside.
Sector weather alert.
Yes,
A
yes,
large
yes,
sandstorm is approaching.
It's the Wastelander Chronicle, brought to you by O'Gary's Imports. O'Gary's Imports. If you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. Join us now as we journey to the blistering sands of Arrakis, where we follow the adventures of the O'Gary clan, a pioneering family of salvage experts, as they scour war-torn battlefields and crash sites to discover their next great haul.
We made it in time. I don't even think I have the thing to harvest spice.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the Wastelander Chronicles. I'm your Badland Scout, Sally O'Gary, back with another wild adventure.
Where is the spice?
After that scary encounter with the
Masquerade,
we got our hands on that super mysterious map. Dad was all over it, trying to figure out where it led. Normally, he would take it over to his Mentat friend at the Seleucid Bowl. I used to think Master Chin was scary when I was little. The way he got that faraway look in his eye when he did his computing, Master Chin would have taken one look, and before you got a word out, he'd have done a sector-by-sector comparison of the map with known topography. But in this case, Dad didn't want anyone knowing the secrets of the map before he did.
I'll figure it out
I
myself.
think it's approaching from
Mom
the other
said he was
side.
being a paranoid old fool, but what should have taken 30 seconds took 2 days. And don't you know it? 2 days later, we found ourselves piling in the Clovis, our 68th Homeland Master, and set a course for the Hagavesa. Once we were underway, Dad unfolded the map and pointed to a marking that looked like an angry beetle.
This is our destination, kids. Remember that old Empire facility we found a few weeks back? It was a maintenance facility. You know, a bunch of tool pushers they kept around to fix stuff for the eggheads.
It's
I
much
guess
more
the
fun if
scientists
you're
can tell you how
standing
much a
into it.
pound
I
of
guess
worm
I should
shit weighs,
have
but put
stood
them
up
all
on my
together in a
other
room and they
balconies.
still can't turn a screw to save their lives.
top balcony
Anyhow,
does
in the
not
documentation
have
we recovered, we found an inventory roll listing some of the other
overhead.
testing
It's not
stations by
safe to
number
stand
and
on.
field of study. Testing
thought
Station
about building
29
one.
studied
Oh, I
plants,
have
while
to see if
36
I want
studied
to.
weather. Station 91, though,
The beauty of this
they
being
studied bugs.
here
Just like this
is-
ugly little sucker we're headed towards.
Snipe
Boy,
NPCs
was
from
that
here, in
journey
theory.
rough. Mom
I don't
said
think I
it
can
was a
see
bad
any of
time
them
of year to
from
be
here, but if I
traveling, and the
could-
sandstorms
there,
were
right there, see?
relentless. Visibility was almost
Anyway,
nothing, and
I hope you guys
sometimes
enjoyed
my
this,
little brother
and,
Coda and I had to
we'll
get
see you
out
guys
and
next
walk
time.
ahead of Clovis to make sure we
Bye-bye.
didn't drive off a cliff.
See ya.
Eventually, we arrived at the sector indicated on the map, and we hid Clovis away, where she would be